So another thing which was added in a recent update, which is something I've been tracking for a little while, is an extra 100 levels were added to rebel groups in-game, and through that they have added a red level 6 Rebel Group Chest. And this is relevant because if we look at what is inside them, you can see that there are the total badges in it. So the question of this video is going to be, what are the drop rates of these, and how long would you expect it to take for you to get a gold total attack badge purely through rebel groups is probably the thing which most people are wanting to do here, including myself. I mean, even me, I only have 2 gold total attack badges, which might surprise people, but that they are very, very hard things to get. They're very, very expensive, and realistically, with all the new stuff which is released since they released, there was just much better things to invest in over them. So adding a new way to obtain them is a very good change realistically. Anecdotally, when it comes to actually getting these, obviously getting past the 400 stages is very difficult. You need to be very, very optimized. My limit, or my wall, is clearing the 401st stage of infantry, and then I'm stuck on this. The infantry and spearmen rebel groups seem to be the hardest to progress on, and progressing with spears versus cavalry seems to be the easiest. The reason for this is probably just the synergy counters. The female lineup here demolishes bleed infantry, and on the same note, when you're running cavalry into infantry, the Baelish stages with the active reversals will destroy cavalry lineups. There's no real synergy counter in the same way from these cavalry versus spearmen groups. The only real spearmen counters there are is kind of Kevin with the attack reduction, which will just focus in on the lineup which is being weakness attacked. And obviously Kevin is not being used especially when these stages past 400 will have Kasana, Vorian, and Sarara in them. But certainly it will want to be a goal if you are spending at quite a high level to get past level 400. It will be very, very difficult though. So when it comes to the chests themselves, I have everything written out here. Just as an aside before I get totally into this, I have seen this discussed quite a few times in the patch notes here. It listed it as increase the highest level of the rebel group in the world map monster from level 400 to level 500. I'm 99% sure this was what was being referred to here with the higher level rebel camps. Higher level rebel camps will be introduced in the September update. I don't think this is happening. I think it was just these rebel groups, and it was likely just a mistranslation there. So the data sample I have of this is about 2,000 chests. They're very hard to get. As I said, you realistically will need Vorian, Sarara, or Kasana yourself, unless you're doing spear versus cavalry. You seem to be able to progress against cavalry a lot easier than the other two. But this is decent enough for sample size, and you can see the trends very quickly. There is some variation, obviously, because the sample size isn't massive, and just normal luck. But it seems like total health and total defense have the same drop rates as the normal attacks and defenses, but then total attack is about half of that drop rate. So we are getting screwed a bit in terms of the drops for the most valuable badge there, which is as to be expected. It's how it normally works. So when you get past stronghold level 401, each rebel group will drop 2 golds and 1 red. If you have honor token, this will scale up to 3 golds and 2 reds for every rebel group. When you get past 450, it will go to 2 reds by default, and then it will be doubled by honor token, so you'll be getting 4 rather than 2. So all these times here will be halved, essentially. That will be very, very difficult to obtain. So for now, when you're in that bracket of 401 to 450, it will be about 200 days of max efficiency rebel group killing to get a single total attack badge to gold, and that will obviously be 100 days if you're past 450. That is a long time, admittedly, but the fact it's free, and for pretty much all of us, gold total attack badges will just go straight into our badge presets. This is pretty nice. Obviously now, red badges exist, so long term you're gonna be wanting 32 of these, which is what, 6,400 days? And you're approaching something like 20 years to get full red badges from this. But yeah, overall this really isn't bad. If you're adding in other total badges you might be picking up from here and there through, say, like Iron Bank, you're probably going to be getting a gold total attack every 6 months or so, and a gold total health and total defense every 3 months. So if you don't have these badges at all, you're missing red badges or something, and these are actually relevant to you even at gold, you'll be able to make some quite quick improvements to your stats without much effort and catch up with people who have actually invested thousands on golding all these total attacks especially. I should probably preface it by saying this is with sitting in endurance recovery refinement 100% of the time, which isn't realistic at all, and those times will drop quite heavily without it. But you can see there the numbers. If you don't have endurance recovery on your just idle refinement preset, you're basically losing yourself gold total attack badges from that decision at this point. So if you have healing speed or army size on that idle preset, maybe this could be a push for you to swap that over, because the badges that are coming from this are very, very significant. And yeah, there we go, that's the new level 6 Rebel Chests. It's another instance of them making previous premium content a lot easier to get. We're seeing it all the time with legendary commander chests now, red tokens, stuff like that. And I certainly wouldn't advise anyone, unless you're just a new max account, from ever spending on total badges at this point when they're starting to be given out for free like this.